I thought I was playing it safe, but I wasn't. And there's also some harsh truth about government housing that people don't talk about. So today I'll be sharing about the property mistakes that I've made so that you don't need to make the same mistakes as I did. And it's a storytelling time about my house in North Gaya, and I'll be sharing about my experience even though I am a property agent, and there are also mistakes that I've made for my own property. So these are my top 5 regrets as a property agent. For those that have been following me for a long time, you know that I've bought North Gaya EC, and this is actually an executive condo with my husband on my right. And my top 5 regrets are actually, number 1, I thought that I was playing it safe because initially I wanted something that was much more affordable, but right now I don't think the same again. And number 2, time is actually much more expensive than price because time is money, so maybe I shouldn't have timed it. Number 3, some harsh truth about government housing that no one really talks about, and what are my considerations between BTO and also ECs. Number 4, money mistakes that most first-time buyers made, and I also made it myself. And last but not least, maybe I should have talked to a professional even though I'm also a property agent. And then I will share with you guys some of the takeaways for myself so that if you are looking to buy a property today or you just want to hear some stories from property agent, feel free to watch to the end of the video. So first I'd like to start with my mindset back then when I was looking for a home in around 2023, 2024. Back then I was just thinking that maybe BTO is like a better choice, so I was actually opting for BTO first. Then maybe afterwards I thought, oh, why not EC, since I'm a property agent and I always believe that EC is a better choice. And when I was searching for EC, I was also thinking between a 3-bedroom, 3+ study and also a 4-bedroom. I was thinking of playing it safe, so a 3-bedroom versus a 4-bedroom. And then I was also thinking like, oh, I'm quite worried if I can afford, is this price going to be safe for me in the long run? Can I actually afford it? So there were many thought process for me, and I was actually playing it safe. In the end, I did try for executive condo, which is the North Gaya EC, and I bought a 3+ study. So I was really choosing over comfort because at that point of time, there is 4-bedroom in the existing supply, and I can actually choose for a 4-bedroom unit, but I was really very fearful of over leveraging, and I choose 3-bedroom plus study in the end. But fast forward right now, I collected the keys around September 2025 this year, and we are actually renovating and making out the house nicer. Then we took the keys and we opened up the house. We thought, damn, we should have bought a 4-bedroom and not bought a 3+ study, because with lifestyle we just felt like the 3+ study, the study is actually much more smaller, especially if I want to work from home as a property agent. And also when we want to have kids, honestly a 3+ study might not be as ideal for us. What if you have guests coming over? So I was playing it very safe. We thought that maybe we should just go with a 4-bedroom in the future. 3+ study is one of my regrets for the North Gaya EC that I buy. In terms of exit plans, we didn't really think about exit because for us we actually did decoupling, and we just thought that with decoupling in the future, eventually each of us will have one house. We don't need to think so far. It's actually 5 years, but 5 years also come at a cost, which I will share with you later. So if you are a buyer today, you're thinking of playing it safe, should you get a BTO first or should you get a smaller size first? Are you over leveraging? These thoughts are very normal. You might think that you're quite fearful for your own financial safety, but I regretted playing too safe. That's one of my regrets. So number 2, my top 2nd regret is actually about timing the market. It's normal to want to time the market. So when we time the market, I was always aiming for BTO, and we actually tried the BTO for around 3 times, waiting for the right opportunity, but we missed the BTO a few times, and eventually that led to the decision of why not EC. But actually EC was part of the choice back then. When we choose the EC, the price was very close to 1.1 million, but when I've purchased my house, is very close to 1.5 million. So you can see that while waiting for the perfect time to buy the perfect house and you're not being ready, the price will actually increase, and it don't increase slowly, it increase by a lot. So my 2nd regret is not buying earlier, and time is more expensive than price. Okay, when I mentioned time is more expensive than price, there's also another factor. Because I purchased an EC, So for EC, for those that you don't know, the MOP is 5 years. So that means that I cannot buy or I cannot sell anything for 5 years. Even if today I see a new launch that I like, there's an investment property that I like, I cannot do anything for the first 5 years, which means from 2025 all the way to 2030, even though, there is chance for me to invest in a good property, I can't do anything. So time is very important. That's when I realized I might not want to wait 5 years to make the next decision. Mainly my thought process was just the first property, but I should have thought of, the second property, how fast I want to buy it. Time changes very fast. I eventually made a decision, but at least I think I made the right decision. It's better than not making a decision. I still bought a property in the end. So if you are still timing the market today, thinking should you wait or what should you do, you should definitely take some action. At least talk to someone, talk to a friend, talk to a professional so that you know what to do. Do not wait because time is more expensive than money. So my third regret is actually going for EC also, because as I mentioned, EC, right, the MOP, which is the minimum occupation period, is 5 years, which means that I cannot do anything from 2025 all the way to 2030. So it might seem like a short time and also a long time, but life do not pause at just 5 years. Within this time, even if I want to do anything, there's nothing that I can do. I'm propertily handicapped, there's nothing that I can do. And also for some of my other friends that maybe go for BTO and they have already took the key, for them, right, government housing is actually not very good because they actually have a change of plans. Some of them actually divorced. They are thinking, should they divorce earlier or should they divorce after 5 years? When you really don't like to stay with someone in the same property, but your question is, do you divorce now or do you divorce 5 years later? So I think these are some harsh truths that you need to think about when you buy a property. Think maybe in the long run, 10 years later. So that's the case for EC, which fortunately is only 5 years MOP. But I know some of you are wanting to buy BTO that is 10 years MOP. But I really need you to think, do you really want a 10 years MOP EC? Because let's say if today you're 30 years old and then you wait 5 years for you to build the property and then you wait another 10 years for it to MOP, and there's also some rebates that you need to give back to the government in terms of the grant. When you can take any action, that's 45 years old already. So you can imagine at 45 years old, will you really take an action in property, or how safe is it for you to take an action? So in the long run, maybe BTO is not the cheapest because you lose time and money while waiting for it to be built. And you also lose time and money while, being locked down in a minimum occupation period, while you can actually potentially grow your money through property. So this is the top 3 regrets that I think that someone would have told me, maybe EC is not the best. Perhaps it's better for each person to have their own private condo. That's something that's also possible. So when you are considering today, if you want to take any government housing, you need to think twice. But if you're not, you're going for private straight away, that's good for you because you have more flexibility in terms of timeline and also in terms of financially what you want to do. So the fourth thing that I think is a mistake that I also make as a first time buyer is that I focus too much about my monthly installment because I want to be safe. I was thinking between the 3+ study and also the 4-bedroom, I was very concerned about what if the monthly installment is very high, what if I cannot take over the loan. But one thing that we need to consider is that monthly installment often is divided into 2 parts. One is actually the principal and the other one is actually the interest. So more than often, the principal is around 70% of your mortgage and the interest is around 30% of the mortgage. But when you sell the house at the end of the day, actually you still get back the principal, and even if your monthly mortgage and installment is higher, often it's because you are saving more money because principal equals to savings versus interest. So we factor in too much more about whether it's comfortable for us every month, and then we forget to see in the long run, actually we do save more money, we do invest more money in the long run. And another thing that I think some people blind spot is the renovation because they over renovate. So this fortunately I didn't have much renovation for my house. It's really mainly like the grouting and also buying of furniture, because renovation, right, when you renovate you spend 100k on renovation, you cannot get back when you actually sell your house. So that's more emotional and less financial lah. So if today you're going to collect your house soon, honestly I wouldn't recommend renovating very huge, like 100k. Try to spend around 50,000 if possible, or even lesser, because at the end of the day, when you sell the house, even though you have very huge capital appreciation, but if all the costs, for example, you earn 200k from your condo and then you spend 100k on renovation, overall your profit is only 100k versus other people. So you can imagine if you spend lesser on renovation, then you have more profits at the end of the day. So that's something that is very important, and mainly I regretted focusing too much on my comfort in terms of the money mistakes as compared to making the right decision. But of course, I'm still happy that I bought a house at North Gaya. And last but not least, the fifth regret, as an agent, I still got it wrong because I think I'm too confident in the industry. I have been in the industry for around 5 years, so when I purchased the house, I was around 3 years experience. So I do think that, EC is actually like the best, and being safe is the best. You should always have more money conserved for your emergency funds. But I was over safe. Perhaps what's better for me or for us is that maybe we could have considered 2 condo. So straight away we just have 2 condo under each person instead of having 1 condo and then we need to lock our names for 5 years. So there could be blind spots that you are missing out of, you don't know. And then also, even though I'm an agent, I know that I shouldn't wait to make a decision, but I also wait to make a decision because I tried for BTO first. So it's important for you to actually talk to professionals, and also because I learned it the hard way, I hope you don't need to learn it hard way. Like, you want to wait and wait, always wait for the next new launch, wait for the next resale. Now the resale price too high, we wait for the next resale price. But when you wait for maybe your house price will go higher, then the condo price also go higher, and then it's like a non-stop waiting game lah. I think it's important for buyers out there or sellers out there, you must talk to a professional so that you don't make a mistake. So because even professionals like me, I do have blind spots. So I just want to end this story time because for this story, I only wanted to share some housing regrets that I wish I knew earlier and I actually do it. There are also things I'm grateful for because I took the action to buy North Gaya, and it's always important for you to start early even though your first action might not be perfect. And because I choose the flexibility to buy a 3+ study instead of a 4-bedroom, the good thing is that I've actually have more cash to do like stocks investment. So perhaps flexibility is okay because eventually you still took the action and it's still a win-win situation. You have best of both ways. And also I don't recommend like just waiting for time. The more you wait for like the next new launch, right, the increase in price could be very high as compared to maybe you choose a unit that is less desired in terms of the facing. So again, this is more about waiting for the right time because we wanted to wait for the right BTO, wanted to wait for the right new launch EC, and then we wait, and eventually the price increased by a lot lah. Next thing, tips that I have for myself is you plan for long time horizon, 10 years, and not just 3 to 4 years, because we only plan like, oh, we get an EC first. But we never plan like, oh, the EC will lock us up for 5 years. Oh, there's nothing we can do for 5 years even though we have excess cash. So plan for long term, and also maybe if you can, don't be too comfortable so that if you buy maybe 1 additional bedroom in times of change in like your own situation, you have the flexibility to make do with it lah. So plan for long term, buy a bigger layout if you can afford instead of being too comfortable. And this is the same thing as earlier, plan beyond your first purchase. We did plan on decoupling, but we didn't plan on the 5 years MOP, which is a bit too slow for us because we can only take action at 2030. So I really cannot imagine what it's like for those who say, my MOP is 10 years. That is really long. And if you are thinking of like not taking action, ask yourself what's stopping you from doing it. Because that in the long run property will rise. In the long run property investment is still safer than stock investment or just putting your money in a bank. So what is stopping you from taking any action? These are the lessons I have for myself after experiencing the whole purchase of like an executive condo and moving in the house and collecting key. I wish I knew earlier that I wanted a bigger unit. I wish I knew earlier that actually I don't need to be so safe. I can overlap. I can actually put in more money and pay more for my mortgage. There's things that I wish I could have done, but I did not do it. And also for those who are listening, if you also are purchasing a property today, or you have purchased, or you know that your parents have a regret, maybe you can feel free to comment down below what is like their property regret, their biggest regret. Is it maybe because they stay in BTO, or like, you know, they choose resale property or EC? I hope this video actually helps anyone who wants to buy a property to make a better decision. And if it actually help you, or you think you'll help your friend, please help to share this video and give it a thumbs up. So it comes to the end. So in conclusion, these are my top 5 regrets. I played too safe. I actually thought that, you know, I should wait for the right time. I didn't think that government properties also have restrictions which really do not make sense in the long run. And I only focused more about my monthly mortgage and didn't look for a long run. So it's one of the money mistakes whereby you only look at the monthly installment, not the principal and the interest as two separate things. And I didn't talk to like a professional. So these are very important things and regrets that I have for my property. And I hope you can learn some things from here and don't make it mistake for yourself too. Thank you so much, and bye bye.